The noise coming from my wife's hotel room made my blood run cold. But what I found when I opened that door, I never saw coming. I'd driven 6 hours to surprise her on her work retreat. She had no idea I was coming. I was standing outside room 314 with flowers in my hand when I heard it, and everything I thought I knew about my marriage shattered in an instant. This is the story of how one surprise visit exposed a truth that changed everything. And trust me, this isn't your typical cheating story. My name is David, and I've been married to Sarah for 8 years. 8 years of what I thought was a solid marriage. Sure, we had our ups and downs like any couple, but I trusted her completely. When she told me about this week-long work retreat at a resort 2 states away, I didn't think twice about it. Her company did these team-building things every year. She seemed excited about it, maybe a little too excited, but I brushed it off. Then, 3 days into her trip, I got an idea. Our anniversary was coming up in 2 weeks, and I thought, why not surprise her? Show up unannounced, take her to dinner, maybe spend the night at the resort. Romantic, right? I should have trusted my gut. Because looking back now, there were signs. Small things I'd ignored. I didn't tell anyone I was coming. Not Sarah, not her coworkers, nobody. I wanted it to be a complete surprise. I took the day off work, bought her favorite flowers, purple tulips, and started the 6-hour drive Thursday afternoon. The whole drive, I'm feeling good about myself. Thinking about how shocked she'll be, how we'll laugh about it later. I'm rehearsing what I'll say when she opens the door. I arrived at the resort around 8 p.m. It was one of those upscale places, mountain views, fancy lobby, the works. Her company definitely wasn't cheap with these retreats. I walked up to the front desk, told them I was surprising my wife. The receptionist, young guy, maybe mid-20s, gave me this weird look when I mentioned Sarah's name. Just for a split second, his smile faltered, but he recovered quickly and told me she was in room 314. I took the elevator to the 3rd floor, flowers in one hand, overnight bag in the other. My heart was racing, the good kind of racing, you know? That excited, nervous energy. I walked down the hallway, found room 314. I could hear the TV was on inside. I raised my hand to knock, and that's when I heard it. Laughter. My wife's laugh. But she wasn't alone. There was a man's voice. Deep. Comfortable. The kind of comfortable that comes from familiarity. I froze. My hand still raised to knock. The flowers suddenly felt heavy. "You're so bad," I heard Sarah say through the door. She was giggling. Giggling. When was the last time I'd heard her giggle like that with me? "You love it though," the man's voice responded. My stomach dropped. The hallway started spinning. This couldn't be happening. There had to be an explanation. Maybe it was a coworker. Maybe they were just hanging out. Innocent. Professional. But that laugh. That tone. I knew my wife. And this wasn't innocent. I stood there for what felt like forever but was probably only 30 seconds. My mind was racing through options. Knock on the door. Confront whatever was happening. Walk away. Pretend I never came. Call her phone first. The flowers in my hand suddenly felt ridiculous. Pathetic even. Then I heard movement inside. Footsteps. Getting closer to the door. I made a split-second decision. I backed away quickly, ducked around the corner into the alcove where the ice machine was. My heart was pounding so hard I thought they'd hear it. The door to 314 opened. I peeked around the corner just enough to see, and what I saw made my blood run cold. A man stepped out. Tall, fit, probably late 30s. Wearing a hotel robe. Her company's logo was on a laptop bag slung over his shoulder. But that's not what made my stomach turn. It was the way he turned back to say something. The way he leaned against the doorframe. The intimacy of it. "See you at breakfast," he said. "Wouldn't miss it," Sarah's voice called from inside. "Same table. Always." He smiled, closed the door, and walked right past my hiding spot toward the elevator. I stayed frozen in that alcove for a full minute after he left, just breathing, trying to process what I'd just witnessed. Was I overreacting? Maybe this was innocent. Maybe. No. Stop lying to yourself, David. You know what you saw. I looked down at the purple tulips in my hand. Her favorite flowers. For my wife, who was apparently having breakfast dates with some guy at her work retreat. Same table. Always. How long had this been going on? I walked back to room 314. Put my ear to the door. I could hear her on the phone now. Yeah, Mom, the retreat's going great. Really productive. No, David's fine, he's working. I'll see him when I get back Sunday. She was lying. Casually. Easily. To her own mother. That's when something snapped inside me. I wasn't going to confront her right now. Not like this. Not when I didn't have all the information. I needed to know the truth. All of it. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I walked back down to the lobby, and I booked myself a room. Same floor. 2 doors down from my own wife. If she wanted to play games, fine. But I was about to become a ghost. And I was going to find out exactly what was happening on this work retreat. What I discovered over the next 48 hours, it was so much worse than I imagined. Let me take you back so you understand how I got here. Sarah and I met in college, freshman year orientation. She was studying marketing, I was in engineering. We were that couple everyone thought would make it. And for years, we did. We got married right after graduation. 8 years ago. The wedding was perfect. Our honeymoon in Italy was perfect. Those first few years were. They were good. Really good. Sarah climbed the corporate ladder fast. She was brilliant at her job, strategic, charismatic, ambitious. 3 months ago, she got promoted to senior marketing director. I was so proud of her. I'm a civil engineer. Steady job, good income, but nothing flashy. I thought we balanced each other out. She was the social one, I was the steady one. But looking back now, I can see when things started changing. About 6 months ago, Sarah started working late. A lot. Big project, she'd say. New client demands. I believed her because why wouldn't I? She joined a gym. Started buying new clothes. Nicer clothes. I thought she was just taking care of herself, feeling good about her promotion. She went on more business trips. This wasn't unusual for her role, but the frequency increased. Chicago, Denver, Seattle, sometimes just overnight, sometimes a few days, and she became distant. Not cold, exactly, just somewhere else. Even when she was home, she wasn't really present. Always on her phone, always checking work emails. Our intimacy dried up, maybe once a month if I was lucky. She always had an excuse. Tired. Stressed. Headache. Not in the mood. I told myself it was the promotion. The new responsibilities. The pressure. I told myself to be patient, to be supportive. I was an idiot. This work retreat was supposed to be a week-long leadership development thing for upper management. Team building exercises, strategy sessions, that kind of corporate stuff. She'd been excited about it in a way that should have raised red flags. Packed her nicest outfits. Got her hair done the day before. Bought new lingerie. For me. I joked when I saw the Victoria's Secret bag. For me, she'd corrected. I want to feel confident at the retreat. I didn't question it. I should have. So there I was, checked into room 428, 2 doors down from my cheating wife. It was almost 9 p.m. I just witnessed a man leaving her room in a hotel robe, talking about breakfast plans like they did this all the time. I needed to know more. I changed out of my travel clothes into something less conspicuous, dark jeans, plain black shirt. Made my way down to the hotel bar and restaurant area. And that's when I saw them. Sarah and the mystery man were sitting at a table with about 6 other people. Her coworkers, I assumed. A business dinner. On the surface, completely innocent. Except for the way he kept looking at her. Except for the way her hand kept drifting toward his under the table. I sat at the bar, ordered a whiskey I didn't want, and watched. The man was handsome, I'll give him that. Tall, well-built, confident. Probably early 40s. Designer suit. The kind of guy who looked like he belonged in an executive role. He sat directly across from Sarah. Every time he said something, she laughed. That real laugh. The one I used to make her do before work consumed her life. At one point, He reached across the table and touched her arm while making a point. Just a casual touch. His hand lingered for 3 seconds. 4. 5. Nobody else at the table seemed to notice. Or maybe they did and just didn't care. Sarah's eyes lit up when she looked at him. Absolutely lit up. When was the last time she'd looked at me like that? The dinner lasted about an hour. The group started breaking up around 10 p.m. Most of the coworkers headed to the elevator together, talking about an early morning session. But Sarah and the man hung back. Want to go over those presentation materials? He said loud enough for the lingering coworkers to hear. Yeah, I've got some notes in my room, Sarah replied. My wife. Using presentation materials as code. They waited until the others were in the elevator before walking toward the stairwell instead. I followed at a distance, staying in the shadows. They went up to the 3rd floor. I watched from the stairwell door as they walked down the hallway together. Not to room 314. To room 322. His room. She went inside with him. The door closed. I stood in that hallway for 3 hours. 3 hours. I sat on the floor by the ice machine, back against the wall, just waiting. Watching that door. Praying I was wrong. Praying she'd come out in 5 minutes with an armful of papers and a professional goodbye. But she didn't. At 12:47 a.m., I checked my phone. Still sitting there like a pathetic ghost. At 1:03 a.m., the door to room 322 finally opened. Sarah stepped out. Her hair was messier than it had been at dinner. Her lipstick was gone. She was smoothing down her blouse. The man, I still didn't know his name, stood in the doorway in a t-shirt and sweatpants. Tomorrow, he said quietly. Always, she whispered back. She kissed him. Not a peck. Orealkish. The kind that said this wasn't new. This was routine. Then she walked down the hallway to room 314 and disappeared inside. I sat there in that hallway until 2 a.m., my whole world collapsing. 8 years of marriage. 8 years. And she was cheating on me like it was nothing. Before we continue, can I ask a tiny favor? Hit that subscribe button. It means more than you know. I barely slept that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that kiss. Heard that always. By 6 a.m., I gave up on sleep. Took a shower. Tried to figure out what the hell I was going to do. Confront her now. Storm into her room and blow everything up? Or wait. Gather evidence. Be smart about this.
I chose smart.
Barely. At 7:30 a.m., I headed down to the hotel restaurant for breakfast. Grabbed a newspaper from the lobby as a prop, something to hide behind. Found a booth in the back corner with a clear view of the entire restaurant. And I waited. At 7:52 a.m., they walked in together. Sarah looked beautiful. She was wearing this blue dress I'd never seen before. Her hair was styled. She'd put on makeup. For him. The man looked equally polished. Grey suit, expensive watch. He had his hand on the small of her back as they walked. They went straight to a corner booth, away from where most of the other guests were sitting. Private. I watched them over the top of my newspaper. A waitress came over, clearly recognized them. Good morning. Your usual table. You know it, the man said with a charming smile. Their usual table. This was routine for them. They ordered coffee. Started talking quietly. From my angle, I could see under the table. Their hands were intertwined. Just casually holding hands like it was the most natural thing in the world. Sarah laughed at something he said. That bright, genuine laugh. He leaned forward. Said something I couldn't hear. She blushed. Actually blushed. I pulled out my phone. Carefully angled it so the camera was pointing at them through the gap in the newspaper. Started recording video. That's when I heard it. The restaurant wasn't that full yet, and their voices carried just enough. I hate that we only have 2 more days, Sarah said. I know, the man replied. Then it's back to reality. Back to sneaking around. For now, he said. But not forever. We talked about this. Sarah nodded. I know. David can't find out. Not yet. Not until I figure out how to leave. The world stopped. She was planning to leave me. This wasn't just an affair. This wasn't just physical. She was planning an entire exit strategy. He doesn't deserve this, the man said. Wait, was he actually showing remorse? Neither does Jennifer. Jennifer. So he was married too. Of course he was. I know, Sarah said quietly. But I can't keep living a lie. Being with you these past 6 months showed me what I've been missing. I haven't felt this alive in years. 6 months. 6 months. My hands were shaking. I almost dropped the phone. I managed to get several photos. Clear shots of them holding hands. Of him leaning over to kiss her cheek. Of the way they looked at each other. A few other coworkers trickled in for breakfast. Sat at nearby tables. Sarah and the man immediately pulled their hands apart, sat up straighter, put on their professional faces. One of the coworkers, a woman in her 50s, came over to their table. Morning, Sarah. Marcus. Ready for today's workshop. Marcus. Finally, I had a name. Absolutely, Linda, Sarah said with a professional smile. Looking forward to the strategic planning session. Marcus. Sarah. Playing their roles perfectly. They finished breakfast around 8:45, said goodbye to the coworkers, and headed toward the conference area. I sat there with cold coffee and a racing heart. Marcus. Her new department head, based on what Linda had said. 6 months. Planning to leave me. I needed more information. I needed everything. 12:30 to 3 p.m. David's mental breakdown. I went back to my room and completely fell apart. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I sat on that hotel bed and cried for the first time in years. Big, ugly, shoulder-shaking sobs. 8 years of my life. 8 years of loving someone who apparently hadn't loved me back for at least 6 months. Maybe longer. How many of those business trips were real? How many late nights at the office were actually late nights with him? That lingerie she'd bought for herself. It was for him, wasn't it? Every lie. Every casual deception. The way she'd kiss me goodbye before this trip told me she'd miss me. All of it. Lies. At some point, I pulled myself together enough to call someone. I needed to talk to someone or I was going to lose my mind. I called Jake. My best friend since high school. The only person I could trust with this. Dude, it's 10 a.m. on a Friday. You better be dying or calling to invite me fishing, he answered. Jake, I said, and my voice cracked. Sarah's cheating on me. The tone of his voice changed immediately. What? Are you sure? I told him everything. The surprise visit. The man in the robe. Last night's 3-hour wait. This morning's breakfast revelation. Jake was quiet for a long moment. Then, David, brother, I'm so sorry. What are you going to do? I don't know. Confront her. Scream. Burn everything down. No, Jake said firmly. Not yet. Listen to me. You need to be smart about this. Document everything. Get evidence. Get a lawyer. Don't confront her until you have all your ducks in a row. I have photos. Video of them at breakfast. Good. Get more. Emails if you can. Text messages. The more evidence you have, the better position you're in when this goes to divorce court. Divorce. The word hit me like a punch. She said she's planning to leave me, I said quietly. I heard her say it. She's just waiting to figure out how. Then beat her to it, Jake said. You control this narrative. Not her. Document everything. Protect yourself. Then, when you're ready, you blow it up on your terms. He was right. I knew he was right. The guy's married too, I added. She mentioned his wife. Jennifer. Even better, Jake said, and I could hear the strategic wheels turning in his head. That's leverage. That's exposure. These people think they're being so clever, sneaking around. Show them they're not. We talked for another 20 minutes. Jake helped me calm down, helped me think clearly. When we hung up, I wasn't sad anymore. I was focused. I knew what I needed to do. Sarah was in conference sessions from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. today. I'd seen the schedule on the hotel events board, which meant I had access to her room for 3 hours. Time to find out exactly how deep this betrayal went. 15 to 6 p.m. The laptop mission. At 1:45 p.m., I watched Sarah and Marcus head into the hotel's conference center with a group of other executives. Some leadership workshop on effective communication. The irony wasn't lost on me. I gave it 15 minutes to make sure they were settled in. Then I made my move. I went to the third floor, walked confidently to room 314. Stood there for a moment, heart pounding. I didn't have a key, but I had a plan. I walked back to the elevator, went down to the first floor, found a housekeeping cart near the guest laundry room. A young woman, maybe early 20s, was loading towels. "Excuse me," I said, putting on my most charming, embarrassed smile. "I'm in room 314, and I locked myself out. My wife has the key cards with her, and I really need to grab my laptop before my next meeting. Is there any way you could let me in? I have my ID." I showed her my driver's license. David Morrison. Same last name as Sarah. The housekeeper looked uncertain. "I'm supposed to call the front desk for lockouts." I know, I said. "But the conference I'm supposed to be in starts in 10 minutes, and I just need 2 seconds to grab my computer. Please. I'm already embarrassed enough that I forgot the key card." She hesitated, then sighed. "Okay, but make it quick." She wheeled her cart to room 314, used her master key to open it. "Thank you so much," I said. "You're a lifesaver." She nodded and moved down the hallway to the next room. I stepped inside Sarah's room and closed the door. The room smelled like her perfume. The bed was made. Her suitcase was open on the luggage rack, clothes neatly folded inside. And there, on the desk by the window, was her laptop. I opened it. Of course, it was password protected. I tried our anniversary date, August 15th, 2017. The computer unlocked. She was using our wedding anniversary as a password while planning to leave me. The universe had a sick sense of humor. I opened her email first. Started scrolling. It didn't take long to find the evidence. There was a folder, just labeled M. I clicked it. Hundreds of emails. Going back 6 months, just like she'd said at breakfast. I started reading, and with each email, my heart broke a little more. March 15th, Marcus, can't stop thinking about last night. You're incredible. Sarah, you make me feel alive again. David and I, we are just roommates at this point. I don't even remember the last time he made me feel the way you do. April 3rd, Sarah, I told David I have a conference in Chicago next weekend. He didn't even question it. Marcus, good. I'll book the hotel. I'm counting the hours until I can be alone with you. April 28th, Marcus, Jennifer's getting suspicious. She asked why I've been traveling so much. Sarah, same with David. Well, he hasn't asked yet, but he will eventually. We need to be more careful. Marcus, or, we need to stop hiding. I'm falling in love with you, Sarah. This isn't just an affair anymore. Not for me. Sarah, I know. I feel the same way. But the timing has to be right. Let's get through this retreat, then we'll figure out how to tell them. May 10th, Sarah, I haven't loved David in years. I think I've known that for a while but didn't want to admit it. Being with you showed me what I've been missing. What love is supposed to feel like. That one destroyed me. I had to stop reading for a moment and just breathe. I kept scrolling. Found emails about previous trips. A weekend in Denver 3 months ago. Conference, she'd said. Hotel room confirmation for 2 in Marcus's name. An overnight in Seattle 2 months ago. Same story. A supposedly week-long conference in Austin 6 weeks ago. Room service bills for 2, romantic dinner reservations. Every business trip in the past 6 months had been with him. I started screenshotting everything. Every damning email. Every hotel confirmation. Every lie. Then I found the most recent exchange, from 3 days ago, right before this retreat. December 22nd, Marcus, 1 week together.
No interruptions. No hiding.
Just us. Sarah, I can't wait. I bought something special to wear for you. Marcus, you know Jennifer thinks I'm just on a boring work trip. She has no idea. Sarah, same with David. God, I almost feel bad. Almost. Marcus, after this week, we make a plan. A real plan. I want to be with you. Properly. I'm ready to tell Jennifer. Are you ready to tell David? Sarah. Yes. I think so. Let's talk about it when we are there. Face to face. They were planning the end of my marriage. Casually. Like it was a business negotiation. I kept searching. Found more information about Marcus. His full name, Marcus Chen. Vice President of Operations at Sarah's company. Married for 12 years. 2 kids. I found his wife on social media through Sarah's references to her. Jennifer Chen. There were photos on Sarah's LinkedIn, company parties where I could see Marcus with his wife in the background. Pretty woman. Kind smile. Posted family photos on Facebook. Her profile was public. The most recent post was from yesterday. Missing my hubby on his work trip. The girls keep asking when daddy's coming home. 3 more days. Can't wait to have our family back together. There were photos of Marcus's daughters. Maybe 4 and 6 years old. Adorable kids in matching pajamas. My stomach turned. Marcus wasn't just destroying my life. He was destroying his children's lives too. I screenshot everything. Emailed it all to my personal account from Sarah's laptop. Then deleted the sent emails and cleared the browser history. Before I left, I took one more look around the room. Found a receipt on the nightstand. Room service from last night. 2 dinners. 2 bottles of wine. Charged to room 322. Marcus's room. I photographed it. Then I left, making sure the door locked behind me. Back in my own room, I downloaded everything from my email. Organized it into folders. Evidence. Undeniable. Documented evidence of a 6-month affair. Jake had been right. This wasn't about emotions anymore. This was strategic. But as I sat there looking at all those emails, one thought kept circling my mind. Jennifer Chen. Marcus's wife. The mother of his children. She had no idea her husband was planning to leave her. Just like I'd had no idea 3 days ago. She deserved to know. And that's when I made a decision that would change everything. I stared at Jennifer Chen's Facebook profile for a long time. Her latest post showed Marcus helping their younger daughter ride a bike. The caption, "Best daddy ever. So grateful for this amazing man and the beautiful family we've built together." Posted 4 days ago. While Marcus was emailing my wife about how he couldn't wait to spend a week alone with her. I thought about just confronting Sarah and Marcus privately. Letting Jennifer find out some other way. It wasn't really my business, was it? But then I thought about those little girls in the photos. Thought about how Jennifer would feel when Marcus eventually left her for Sarah. How she'd look back on all these photos and realize they were lies. She deserved to know now. While she could still do something about it. While she still had some control. I opened Facebook Messenger. Stared at the blank message box. What do you even say? Hi. I'm a random stranger, and your husband is cheating on you with my wife. She'd think I was crazy. I needed proof. Something undeniable. I pulled up the photo I'd taken at breakfast this morning. The one showing Marcus and Sarah holding hands under the table, looking at each other like they were the only 2 people in the world. I attached it to a message. Jennifer, my name is David Morrison. I don't know you, but we have something in common. Your husband Marcus and my wife Sarah have been having an affair for at least 6 months. I'm currently at the same resort where they are on their work retreat. I think you deserve to know the truth. I have more evidence if you need it. I hovered over the send button for a full minute. This would blow up her entire life. Her marriage. Her family. Those little girls in the photos. But Marcus and Sarah had already made that choice. They'd decided to blow everything up the moment they started this affair. I hit send. Then I waited. 5 minutes passed. Nothing. 10 minutes. My phone stayed silent. Maybe she wasn't online. Maybe she wouldn't see it for hours. 15 minutes. Then my phone buzzed. Facebook Messenger notification. Jennifer Chen. What? No. This can't be real. Marcus wouldn't. We have children together. Who are you? I replied immediately. I'm Sarah Morrison's husband. I came here to surprise her. Instead, I found out she's been cheating on me with your husband. I've been gathering evidence for the past 24 hours. I have emails, more photos, hotel receipts. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but I thought you deserved to know. Another photo. This one from last night. Marcus leaving Sarah's room at 1 a.m. Dots appeared showing she was typing. Disappeared. Appeared again. Jennifer. Oh my God. Oh my God. I knew something was wrong. He's been distant for months. More business trips. Always on his phone. But he always had explanations. I trusted him. I have 2 babies, David. 2 babies. How could he do this to us? My heart broke for her. I'm so sorry, Jennifer. I know exactly how you feel. I found emails between them. They've been planning to leave both of us. They were going to tell us after this retreat. Jennifer, leave us? Leave US? For each other? Yes. Several minutes passed. I could only imagine what she was going through. The same shock and devastation I'd felt. Jennifer, where are you right now? What hotel? I told her. Sent her the address. Jennifer, I'm coming there. Tonight. I need to see this with my own eyes. I need to confront him. Are you sure? It's a 6-hour drive. Jennifer, I don't care. My mother lives 20 minutes away. She can watch the girls. I'm leaving in an hour. Jennifer, if you come here, what's your plan? Just burst in and confront them? Jennifer, I don't know. I don't know. I just need to do something. I can't just sit here knowing my husband is with another woman. I understood that feeling completely. And that's when an idea formed. A terrible, vengeful, absolutely perfect idea. Jennifer, what if we confronted them together? Publicly. In front of all their coworkers. Make sure everyone knows exactly what kind of people they are. Long pause. Jennifer, you want to humiliate them? I want them to face consequences. Sarah's been lying to me for 6 months. Marcus has been lying to you while you're home raising his children. They were going to keep lying to us for however long it took to plan their exit. They don't get to control this narrative anymore. Jennifer, when? Tomorrow morning. Breakfast. They have a routine. Same table every morning, 7:50 a.m. Other coworkers eat there too. We walk in together, confront them in front of everyone. Show them the evidence. Make it impossible for them to lie their way out. Jennifer, what if they deny everything? I have emails, photos, hotel receipts, screenshots of text messages, 6 months of documented evidence. They can't deny this. Another long pause. I could almost feel her weighing the decision through the phone. Jennifer, okay, I'm in. But I want copies of everything you have. Every email. Every photo. I'm divorcing him, and I want full custody of my daughters. I need evidence. You'll have it all. I'll meet you when you get here. What time do you think you'll arrive? Jennifer, midnight. Maybe a little after. I'm packing now. I'm getting my sister to come with me. I need backup. There's a 24-hour diner across from the hotel. Text me when you're close. We'll meet there, go over the evidence, and plan exactly what we are going to do tomorrow. Jennifer. David? Yes. Jennifer, thank you. For telling me. A lot of people wouldn't have. They would have just dealt with their own situation and left me in the dark. You deserve to know. Those little girls of yours deserve better than a father who'd abandon them. Jennifer, I'll see you at midnight. I put my phone down and took a deep breath. This was really happening. Tomorrow morning, Sarah and Marcus's perfect little secret was going to explode in the most public way possible. Part of me felt guilty. This was vindictive. This was revenge. But the larger part of me felt nothing but cold determination. They'd had 6 months of lying, sneaking around, building a relationship on the foundation of our destroyed marriages. They'd had their fun. Now it was time to pay the bill. Settle in, get comfortable, and if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. You're safe here. At 6:30 p.m., my phone buzzed. Text message from Sarah. The irony of her texting me while she was here with her affair partner wasn't lost on me. Sarah, hey babe. Just finished the afternoon sessions. So exhausting. These corporate retreat things are always so draining. How's your day been? I stared at the message. The casual lies. The effortless deception. I wanted to respond. My day's been great. Spent it discovering you've been cheating on me for 6 months and planning to leave me. Super fun. Instead, I typed, pretty boring day. Just work from home, caught up on some projects. Miss you though. Can't wait for you to be home. Playing her game. Letting her think everything was normal. Sarah, miss you too. Just 2 more days. Heading to dinner now with some coworkers. Probably going to be another late night. You know how these networking dinners go. Love you. Love you. She had the audacity to say love you. Have fun. Love you too. I felt sick typing it. But I needed her to suspect nothing. Not until tomorrow morning when her entire world came crashing down. At 7 p.m., I headed down to the hotel restaurant. Same routine as last night. Found a booth in the back. Newspaper prop. Clear view of everything. Sarah and Marcus walked in at 7:20 p.m. with the same group from last night. About 8 people total. Corporate dinner, all on the company card probably. They sat at a large table. Sarah and Marcus positioned themselves directly across from each other again. Close enough to make eye contact constantly, but far enough apart to maintain appearances. I watched their little show. The way Marcus would lean in when Sarah spoke, giving her his complete attention. The way Sarah's hand would drift to her necklace when she laughed at his jokes, a nervous habit I knew well. How they'd glance at each other every few minutes, quick little looks that said, I wish we were alone right now. One of the older executives, a man in his 60s, was telling some long story about a client meeting. Everyone at the table was politely listening. Except Sarah and Marcus. They were in their own world, having a separate conversation through looks and subtle gestures. At one point, Marcus pulled out his phone under the table. 30 seconds later, Sarah's phone buzzed. She checked it discreetly, smiled, and typed something back. They were texting each other, while sitting at the same table with their coworkers. The dinner lasted about an hour and a half. Around 9 p.m., people started breaking up for the evening. Most of the coworkers headed toward the elevators, talking about the early morning session tomorrow. I'm going to grab some fresh air, Marcus announced to no one in particular. Clear my head before bed. Oh, I could use a walk too, Sarah said, as if it was spontaneous. Anyone else? The others declined. Tired. Ready for bed. Early morning tomorrow. Sarah and Marcus left through the lobby doors together. I waited 60 seconds, then followed. They weren't being careful anymore. Maybe they thought everyone had gone to their rooms. Maybe they were just getting sloppy. I watched from the lobby as they walked toward the edge of the property, where there was a little gazebo overlooking the mountains. It was dark out there, away from the main lights. I stayed in the shadows. Watched them sit on the gazebo bench. Watched Marcus put his arm around Sarah. Watched her lean into him. Watched them kiss. A long, intimate kiss. Not rushed. Not furtive. Like they had all the time in the world. I took photos. Video. Documented everything. They stayed out there for 20 minutes. Just talking, kissing, holding each other. Finally, they walked back toward the hotel. Separated in the lobby. Professional distance again. Went to the elevators at different times. But I knew where they were going. Room 322. I went back to my room. Checked the time. 10:47 p.m. Jennifer would be here in about an hour. I pulled up all the evidence I'd collected. Organized it chronologically. Made sure I had copies of everything. Then I sat there and waited for midnight. 24:30-28:00. Meeting Jennifer. At 12:23 a.m., my phone buzzed. Jennifer Chen. Just pulled into the hotel parking lot. Sister is with me. Where should we meet? There's a 24-hour diner called Murphy's directly across the street. I'll be in a booth in the back. Jennifer. See you in 5 minutes. I grabbed my laptop and all the printed evidence I'd prepared. Walked across the street to the diner. Murphy's was mostly empty at this hour. Just a couple of truckers at the counter and a tired-looking waitress refilling coffee. I found a booth in the back corner. Sat down facing the door. 5 minutes later, 2 women walked in. I recognized Jennifer immediately from her photos. Mid-30s, petite, dark hair pulled back in a ponytail. She looked exhausted. Her eyes were red, she'd been crying. The woman with her was younger, maybe late 20s. Had to be the sister. She looked furious. They spotted me, walked over. David. Jennifer said quietly. I stood up. Jennifer. Thank you for coming. I know this is. She held up a hand. Don't. Just. Show me everything. We sat down. The waitress came over, took our coffee orders, sensed the heavy mood and left quickly. I opened my laptop, pulled up the folder of evidence. I'm going to show you everything I found, I said. It's going to be hard to see. If you need me to stop at any point. I won't, Jennifer said firmly. Show me. I started with the breakfast photos from this morning, them holding hands under the table. Jennifer's jaw clenched. Keep going. The photo of Marcus leaving Sarah's room at 1 a.m. Thursday night. That bastard, the sister muttered. The emails. I scroll through them slowly, letting Jennifer read the worst ones. I haven't loved David in years. You make me feel alive again. After this retreat, we tell them. I'm ready to be with you properly. Jennifer's hands were shaking. She wiped tears from her eyes but didn't look away from the screen. How long have you known? She asked. 36 hours, I said. I came here Thursday evening to surprise Sarah. Found out the same way you're finding out now. Your anniversary is in 2 weeks, right? Jennifer said, remembering the password. Marcus told me he had a work retreat and would miss our daughter's dance recital this Saturday. She's been practicing for months. She laughed bitterly. He's missing his daughter's recital to fuck your wife at a resort. The sister put a hand on Jennifer's arm. Yen. No, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Jennifer took a deep breath. Show me the rest. I showed her the hotel reservations from previous business trips. The room service bills. The romantic dinner receipts. Every piece of evidence that proved this wasn't a one-time mistake. This was calculated. Sustained. 6 months of deliberate lies. They were going to tell us after this retreat, I said. That was the plan. Spend this week together, then come home and blow up both our lives on their timeline. Not anymore, Jennifer said coldly. What's the plan for tomorrow? Breakfast, I said. They eat at the same table every morning at 7:50. There's usually about a dozen other people from the company there, coworkers, other executives. We walk in together at 8 a.m. We confront them in front of everyone. Public humiliation, the sister said, nodding approvingly. It's not just about humiliation, I said. Though I won't lie, that's part of it. It's about consequences. They've been operating in this little bubble where they think they're so clever. Nobody knows. Nobody suspects. They get to play house here and go back to their real lives without any fallout. Until now, Jennifer said. Until now, I agreed. When we confront them publicly, with evidence, they can't lie their way out. Their coworkers will know. Their bosses will know. There will be professional consequences on top of personal ones. Jennifer nodded slowly. Good. Marcus always cared so much about his reputation. His professional image. Let's destroy it. Jennifer, I said carefully, are you sure about this? Once we do this, there's no taking it back. It's going to be messy. It's going to be ugly. She looked at me with steel in her eyes. David, my husband has been cheating on me for 6 months while I've been home raising his children. Our 4-year-old asks every night when Daddy's coming home because she misses him. And he's here, in a luxury resort, planning to leave us for another woman. She leaned forward. I'm sure. I want him to face exactly what he's done. I want everyone to know. Okay, I said. Then here's the plan. I walk them through it step by step. We'd arrive at the restaurant separately. I'd go in first, around 7:55. Position myself with a clear view. Jennifer and her sister would arrive at 8 o'clock, right when Sarah and Marcus would be settled in, comfortable, guard down. We'd walk up to their table together. I'd have the evidence folder in hand. And then we'd let them have it. In front of everyone. I've been recording conversations when I can, I said. I'll have my phone recording tomorrow too, just in case we need it later for divorce proceedings. Smart, the sister said. She looked at me approvingly. You're handling this better than I would. I'm not handling it, I said honestly. I'm just channeling everything into action. If I stop moving, If I stop planning, I'll fall apart. Jennifer nodded. She understood. We spent another hour going over details. I sent her copies of all the evidence. She forwarded it to her lawyer, who she'd already contacted on the drive here. My lawyer says this is more than enough for divorce, Jennifer said. And with the evidence of infidelity, I'll get full custody. Marcus can see the girls on supervised visits. He brought this on himself, I said. Yeah, Jennifer said quietly. He did. Around 2 a.m., we wrapped up. Jennifer and her sister were going to get a hotel room at a different property nearby, get a few hours of sleep. See you at 8 a.m., Jennifer said as we parted ways. 8 a.m., I confirmed. I went back to my room. Set an alarm for 6:30 a.m. Lay in bed staring at the ceiling. In 6 hours, everything was going to explode. Sarah had sent me one more text before bed. Sarah, good night, babe. Long day tomorrow. Love you. Face blowing a kiss. I didn't respond. Tomorrow morning, she'd learn exactly what kind of long day it was really going to be. I didn't sleep. At 6:30 a.m., I gave up pretending. Got in the shower. Let the hot water run over me while I tried to prepare mentally for what was about to happen. In 90 minutes, I was going to confront my wife about her affair. In front of her coworkers. In front of her lover. In front of his wife. This was it. The point of no return. Part of me wanted to back out. Just talk to Sarah privately. Give her a chance to explain, even though I knew there was no explanation that would make this okay. But then I thought about the emails. I haven't loved David in years. I thought about her texting me last night while she was here with Marcus. The casual lies. I thought about Jennifer's daughters, who were about to lose their family because their father couldn't keep his vows. No. This was the right thing to do. I got dressed. Jeans and a button-down shirt. Wanted to look put together. Professional. Not like the destroyed mess I felt like inside. I gathered all the evidence one more time. Printed copies in a folder. Digital backups on my phone and laptop. At 7:45 a.m., I headed down to the restaurant. The hotel was coming alive. People in business casual walking toward conference rooms. The smell of coffee from the lobby Starbucks. Saturday morning. Last full day of the retreat. I walked into the restaurant. The hostess greeted me. Table for one. Yes, please. That booth in the corner if it's available. She seated me. I had a perfect view of the entire restaurant. Of that corner booth where Sarah and Marcus had been sitting every morning. I ordered coffee. Checked my phone. Jennifer Chen, 10 minutes out. Are you in position? Yes. They're not here yet. Jennifer. Good. We are coming in right at 8. Be ready. I'm ready. I wasn't ready. But I was doing this anyway. At 7:52 a.m., they walked in. Sarah looked beautiful. She was wearing a cream-colored blouse and dark slacks. Her hair was down. She was smiling. Marcus walked beside her. His hand briefly touched her lower back as they entered. They didn't see me. Why would they look? I was supposed to be 6 hours away, oblivious and trusting. They went straight to their corner booth, their usual table. Sat down across from each other. Within minutes, they were holding hands under the table again. A few other coworkers trickled in. The older executive from last night, Linda. A younger guy in his 30s. They sat at nearby tables, chatting casually about today's agenda. Sarah and Marcus ordered coffee. Started talking quietly. I watched them. Really looked at them. This was the last moment before everything changed. The last few minutes where they thought they were safe. Clever. Getting away with it. My phone buzzed. Jennifer, we are in the parking lot. Walking in now. My heart started pounding. This was it. I texted back. They're at the corner booth. Far left. I'll meet you at the entrance. I stood up. Left cash on my table for the coffee. Walked toward the restaurant entrance. Through the windows, I saw Jennifer and her sister approaching. Jennifer looked calm. Determined. She was wearing dark jeans and a sweater. Her sister beside her, equally focused. I opened the door for them. Ready? Jennifer whispered. No, I said honestly. But let's do this anyway. We walked into the restaurant together. Sarah saw me first. I'll never forget the look on her face.
Pure šok.
Her mouth opened slightly. The color drained from her skin. Her eyes darted from me to Jennifer beside me to the folder in my hand. And in that split second, she knew. She knew I knew. Marcus looked up, saw me, then saw Jennifer. His face went from confusion to understanding to panic in about 3 seconds. David. Sarah said, her voice barely a whisper. What are you? Surprise, honey, I said calmly. Thought I'd join your work retreat. I walked toward their table. Jennifer and her sister right behind me. Every head in the restaurant turned. The other coworkers stopped eating. Stopped talking. The only sound was our footsteps on the tile floor. We stopped at their table. Sarah was frozen. Marcus looked like he wanted to run. David, I can explain, Sarah started. Explain what? I said, my voice steady. Explain why there's a man leaving your hotel room at 1 a.m.? Explain why you're holding hands with your boss under the table right now. Explain the 6 months of emails planning to leave me. Silence. Absolute silence. Jennifer stepped forward. Hello, Marcus. Remember me? Your wife. The mother of your children who you abandoned for a work retreat so you could fuck this woman. Marcus's face went white. Jen, what are you? How did you? David called me, Jennifer said coldly. Sent me all the evidence. Every email. Every photo. Every lie you've told me for the past 6 months. I dropped the folder on the table. Photos spilled out. Sarah and Marcus at breakfast, holding hands. Marcus leaving Sarah's room at 1 a.m. Screenshots of emails. I haven't loved David in years. Hotel receipts from Denver, Seattle, Austin. Sarah started crying. David, please, can we talk about this privately? No, I said firmly. You had 6 months to talk to me. You chose to lie instead. You don't get privacy now. Marcus tried to stand up. This is not the place. Sit down, Jennifer commanded. Everyone here deserves to know who they're working with. By now, about a dozen coworkers were watching. Some had their phones out, recording. Linda, the older executive, looked horrified. Sarah. Marcus. Is this true? Sarah buried her face in her hands. Marcus tried one more time. Jen, please, the kids. Don't you dare talk about our kids, Jennifer said, her voice breaking. You were planning to abandon them. Your 4-year-old asks about you every night. And you're here planning your new life with someone else's wife. Tears were streaming down Jennifer's face now, but her voice stayed strong. I have a lawyer, Marcus. I filed for divorce yesterday. I'm getting full custody. You can see your daughters on supervised visits after you explain to them why Daddy doesn't love Mommy anymore. The restaurant was dead silent except for Jennifer's voice. Sarah finally looked up, mascara running down her face. David, please. I never meant to hurt you. I fell in love. It wasn't supposed to happen. You fell in love, I repeated slowly. For 6 months. While lying to me every single day. While I trusted you completely. While I supported your career, your late nights, your business trips. I picked up one of the printed emails. Read it aloud for everyone to hear. From Sarah to Marcus, dated May 10th. I haven't loved David in years. I think I've known that for a while but didn't want to admit it. Being with you showed me what I've been missing. I looked at her. Years, Sarah. Not months. Years. So how long have you actually been lying to me? She couldn't answer. Just kept crying. One of the younger coworkers, a woman maybe in her late 20s, stood up. Sarah, I looked up to you. You were my mentor. How could you do this? He has children. Another coworker, the guy in his 30s. Marcus, man, what the hell? You always talked about your family. Your daughters. And this whole time. Marcus finally found his voice. Everyone, please. This is a private matter. We don't need to. Private. Jennifer laughed bitterly. You gave up private when you started sleeping with a married woman on company trips. When you used work retreats as cover to destroy 2 families. She turned to the gathered coworkers. Just so everyone knows, He told me he had to miss our daughter's dance recital today for this important work retreat. She's been practicing for 3 months, but apparently banging Sarah in a luxury hotel is more important than his 4-year-old. Several people in the restaurant looked disgusted. Linda, the senior executive, stood up. Marcus, Sarah, as your colleague and as someone who has worked with both of you for years, I am appalled. This is completely unacceptable behavior. She pulled out her phone. I'm calling HR right now. And Bill. Bill was apparently their CEO. Marcus went even paler. Linda, wait. No, Linda said firmly. You two have been using company resources to facilitate an affair. Multiple business trips that I now realize were probably falsified. This isn't just a personal matter. This is a professional ethics violation. Sarah grabbed Linda's arm. Please, Linda. Don't. My career. Your career. Linda pulled her arm away. Sarah, you just destroyed your career. Both of you did. I pulled out my phone. Showed the camera to Sarah. I've been recording this whole conversation, by the way. For my lawyer. I'm filing for divorce too. Grounds of adultery. With photo evidence, email evidence, and now witness testimony. I'll split everything down the middle, I continued. And I'll make sure everyone knows why our marriage ended. Your family. My family. All our friends. They deserve to know the truth. Sarah looked up at me, desperate. David, we've been married 8 years. 8 years. That has to mean something. We can get counseling. We can fix this. Fix this. I said quietly. Sarah, you told him you haven't loved me in years. You were planning to leave me. The only reason you're upset now is because you got caught. If I hadn't shown up here, you'd still be lying to me. That's not true. It is true. I raised my voice for the first time. You were never going to tell me. You were going to wait until you had everything planned out perfectly. Until you could leave on your terms. I was just the idiot husband at home, supporting you, trusting you, while you built a whole other life behind my back. The restaurant was completely silent. Jennifer spoke up again. Marcus, I want you to know that your daughters will know the truth. When they're old enough to understand, I'll tell them exactly why their daddy left. That he chose another woman over his family. You can't, Marcus started. I can and I will, Jennifer said. I'll never lie to them to protect you. You made your choice. She turned to Sarah. And you. You knew he had children. You read his emails about them. You knew he was missing their recitals and school plays to be with you. And you didn't care. Sarah shook her head. I did care. I felt terrible about it. Not terrible enough to stop, Jennifer shot back. Not terrible enough to do the right thing. You felt terrible, but you kept sleeping with him. Kept making plans with him. Kept destroying my family. The sister stepped forward, getting in Marcus's face. My nieces adore you. They think you're this amazing dad. And you were going to abandon them for what? Some corporate affair. You're pathetic. Marcus stood up suddenly. I don't have to listen to this. Sit down. I said it with such authority that he actually hesitated. We are not done, I continued. You and Sarah wanted to control this narrative. You wanted to tell us on your timeline, after you'd planned everything out. Well, guess what? You don't get that anymore. We control this now. I turned to the gathered coworkers. I want everyone here to know exactly who you've been working with. These two have been carrying on an affair for at least 6 months. They've used company resources, company trips, and company time to facilitate their relationship. They've lied to their spouses, their families, and all of you. I picked up more printed emails. I have documentation of at least 4 separate business trips that were actually romantic getaways. Hotel rooms booked for 2. Romantic dinners. Weekend trips to Denver, Seattle, Austin. All on the company's dime, I'm assuming. Linda was already on the phone. Bill. Yes, I'm at the retreat. We have a situation with Marcus and Sarah. A serious ethics violation. I'm sending you documentation now. She hung up and looked at me. Can you send me copies of that evidence? Absolutely, I said. I'll email it to you right now. Marcus finally snapped. You're trying to ruin my career. Our careers. Over a personal matter. You ruined your own career, I said. The moment you decided to use company resources to cheat on your wife. The moment you put your personal desires above professional ethics. Jennifer added, and you ruined your family the moment you chose her over your daughters. Sarah was sobbing now. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. David, I never wanted to hurt you. But you did, I said simply. For 6 months, every single day, you hurt me. With every lie. Every fake business trip. Every time you told me you loved me while planning to leave me. I started gathering up the photos and papers. I'm done here. My lawyer will be in touch, Sarah. I want you out of the house by the time I get back tomorrow. Stay with Marcus, stay with your mother, I don't care. But I don't want to see you. I looked at Jennifer. Ready to go. She nodded. More than ready. We turned to leave. Sarah called out desperately, David, wait. Please. We need to talk. I stopped. Turned back one more time.
No, Sarah.
We really don't. You had 6 months to talk to me. You chose lies. You don't get a conversation now. You get a divorce lawyer and the consequences of your choices. And then Jennifer, her sister, and I walked out of that restaurant together. 35:00-38:00. The fallout. We didn't go far. Jennifer, her sister, and I ended up at a table in the hotel lobby. None of us could quite process what had just happened. The adrenaline was wearing off. The reality was setting in. Jennifer's hands were shaking as she held her coffee. I can't believe I just did that. You did the right thing, her sister said, rubbing her back. I know. But those people in there. Marcus has to work with them. His whole career. Jennifer trailed off. He should have thought about that before he cheated, I said firmly. This isn't your fault, Jennifer. Or mine. They did this to themselves. My phone started buzzing. Multiple calls from Sarah. I declined every one. Then blocked her number. Jennifer's phone was buzzing too. Marcus. She declined the calls but didn't block him. The girls, she explained. I need to be able to coordinate about the girls. But I'm not talking to him right now. We sat there for maybe 20 minutes. Just processing. Decompressing. Then Linda, the senior executive from the restaurant, found us. David. Jennifer. I wanted to let you know that I spoke with our CEO. Marcus and Sarah have been terminated, effective immediately. They're being asked to leave the premises within the hour. I felt a grim satisfaction. Thank you for telling us. I'm sorry you both had to go through this, Linda said. For what it's worth, you handled it with more grace than I would have. They betrayed your trust in the worst possible way. She hesitated, then added, several of us had suspected something was going on between them. The way they acted at company events, the number of trips they took together. But we didn't have proof, and it felt wrong to speculate. I wish we'd said something sooner. It's not your responsibility, Jennifer said. They're the ones who chose to lie. Linda nodded. There will be an investigation into the company resources they used. The trips, the expenses. If anything was fraudulent, there may be further consequences. After Linda left, the three of us just sat there. What now? Jennifer's sister finally asked. Now? Jennifer took a shaky breath. Now I go home and figure out how to tell my daughters that Daddy's not coming home. You'll figure it out, her sister said gently. You're strong. You'll protect them. And they'll be okay because they have you. Jennifer wiped her eyes. What about you, David? What are you going to do? I'm going to drive home, I said. Pack up Sarah's stuff. Change the locks. File for divorce. Start the process of rebuilding my life. It sounded so simple when I said it like that. Like it was just a checklist. But the reality was going to be so much harder. 8 years of marriage. Gone. Just like that. All because Sarah fell in love with someone else and didn't have the courage to be honest with me. Can I ask you something? Jennifer said. Do you regret coming here? Regret confronting them the way we did? I thought about it. Really thought about it. No, I said finally. If I hadn't come here, I never would have known the truth. Or I would have found out in whatever way Sarah decided to tell me, on her timeline, after she'd already planned her exit. At least this way, I discovered it. I controlled how it ended. I exposed them for what they were. And yeah, it was messy and public and probably vindictive. But they earned that. They earned it, Jennifer agreed quietly. We exchanged contact information, promised to share updates on the divorce proceedings, agreed to be witnesses for each other if needed. Thank you, David, Jennifer said as we prepared to part ways. For telling me. For giving me the evidence I needed. For standing with me in there. Thank you for being brave enough to come here, I replied. For facing this head-on instead of just accepting it. We hugged. Two strangers who'd been thrown together by betrayal, who'd supported each other through one of the worst experiences of our lives. Then Jennifer and her sister left to drive home to those little girls who needed their mother. And I sat alone in the hotel lobby, trying to figure out what came next. My phone buzzed. Text from Jake, my best friend. Jake, dude, I've been trying to call you. Are you okay? Did you confront her? I called him. Told him everything that happened. When I finished, there was a long silence. Holy shit, Jake finally said. You actually did it. You publicly confronted them both. Yeah. How do you feel? I thought about that. Numb. Angry. Relieved. Heartbroken. All of it at once. That's fair. Do you need me to come meet you? Help you pack up her stuff? Yeah, I said. Yeah, I think I do. I'll be at your place tomorrow by noon. We'll handle it together. That made me feel a little less alone. I checked out of the hotel. Loaded my car. One last time, I looked up at the third floor. Room 314. Where this nightmare had started. Where I'd heard my wife laughing with another man. Where I'd stood in the hallway for 3 hours waiting for her to come out of his room. Where my marriage had died, even if I hadn't known it yet. I got in my car and started the 6-hour drive home. At some point during the drive, I started crying. Really crying. Big, gasping sobs that made it hard to breathe. I had to pull over on the side of the highway and just let it all out. 8 years. Gone. The woman I'd trusted completely. Gone. The future I'd imagined. Gone. All of it. Just gone. But eventually, the tears stopped. I took a deep breath. Started the car again. Kept driving. Because that's what you do when your life falls apart. You keep moving. You keep breathing. You survive. And somehow, eventually, you figure out how to live again. Act 5. Resolution 38:00-40:00. 38:00-39:30. The aftermath. I made it home around 5 p.m. Saturday evening. The house felt different. Colder. Like it knew what had happened. Jake showed up 30 minutes later with pizza and beer, like he'd promised. Ready to do this? He asked. Not even a little bit, I said. But let's do it anyway. We spent the next 3 hours packing up Sarah's things. Her clothes. Her books. Her toiletries. Everything that was hers. I found the lingerie she'd bought before the trip. Shoved it in a box without looking at it. Found the anniversary card I'd made for her 2 weeks ago. Still sitting on my desk where I'd left it. I threw it away. On Sunday morning, a moving truck came. Sarah's parents. They didn't make eye contact with me. Just loaded the boxes and left. Her mother paused at the door. David, I'm so sorry. We had no idea. I know, I said. Neither did I. Monday morning, I met with my lawyer. Filed for divorce. Grounds of adultery. Submitted all the evidence I'd gathered. This is one of the most thoroughly documented cases I've ever seen, my lawyer said. You'll have no problem getting a fair settlement. The next few weeks were a blur. Sarah tried to reach out multiple times. Emails. Texts from new numbers. Messages through mutual friends. I ignored all of them. She wanted to explain. She wanted closure. She wanted me to understand her side. I didn't care about her side anymore. Jennifer kept me updated on her situation. Marcus had moved out. Filed a countersuit trying to get shared custody of the girls. Jennifer's lawyer shut that down fast with all the evidence we had. The affair made waves at their company. Both Sarah and Marcus had been rising stars. Now they were cautionary tales. Several news articles came out about corporate affairs and ethics violations. Sarah and Marcus weren't named directly, but everyone in their industry knew. Their careers were effectively over. Sarah moved in with Marcus, from what I heard through mutual friends. The relationship they'd been so excited about, the love they'd been willing to destroy two families for, was suddenly their only option. I wondered if they were happy, if it was worth it. I doubted it. By March, 3 months after the confrontation, the divorce was finalized. Sarah got some of the assets. I got the house. We split retirement accounts. It was amicable in the sense that she didn't fight me. She knew she couldn't. The evidence was too damning. On the day the divorce was final, I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel angry. I felt free. Jennifer and I stayed in touch. We'd text every few weeks. Compare notes on healing. Share small victories. She sent me a photo one day. Her with her daughters at a park, all 3 of them smiling. Jennifer, we are doing okay. It's hard, but we are okay. Me, you're doing more than okay. You're amazing. 6 months after the retreat, I went on my first date. A woman Jake had set me up with. It was awkward and weird, and I spent half of it talking about my divorce, which was a disaster. But it was a start. I started seeing a therapist. Worked through the betrayal, the trust issues, the anger. Slowly, I started to feel like myself again. Some days were harder than others. I'd see couples at restaurants and wonder if they were lying to each other too. I'd hear a song that reminded me of Sarah and feel that familiar ache. But those days became less frequent. I changed jobs. Started fresh at a new firm. Made new friends who didn't know about the divorce, the affair, any of it. I was just David, an engineer, a guy starting over. And gradually, that became enough. 39:30-40:00. Closing, final reflections. It's been over a year now since that work retreat. Since I drove 6 hours with purple tulips in my hand, planning to surprise my wife. I got surprised instead. People ask me sometimes if I regret it. Regret going there. Regret confronting them the way I did. Regret making it public. I don't. Because that surprise visit gave me the truth. And yeah, the truth destroyed me. Shattered everything I thought I knew about my marriage, about Sarah, about our life together. But it also freed me. If I hadn't gone there, I might have lived in that lie for months longer. Maybe years. Sarah would have left on her terms, with her exit strategy perfectly planned. And I would have been blindsided, destroyed, with no control over any of it. Instead, I discovered the truth. I documented everything. I exposed them. I made sure there were consequences. Was it vengeful? Probably. Was it vindictive? Maybe. But it was also justice. For me. For Jennifer. For those little girls who deserved better than a father who'd abandoned them. Sarah tried to reach out a few months ago. An email that got past my filters. She wanted to apologize. Said she'd made terrible mistakes. That she never meant to hurt me. I deleted it without responding. Because here's the thing I've learned. Intent doesn't matter when the impact is devastating. She may not have meant to hurt me, but she did. Every single day for 6 months. She may not have meant to destroy our marriage, but she did. And sorry doesn't fix that. I heard through the grapevine that Sarah and Marcus broke up about 8 months after the retreat. Turns out, relationships built on lies and betrayal don't have solid foundations. Who knew? Marcus is seeing his daughters twice a month now. Supervised visits. Jennifer's doing well. She met someone new. Someone who treats her and her girls with the respect they deserve. As for me,
I am healing.
Slowly but surely. I've learned to trust again, though it doesn't come as easily as it used to. I've learned that sometimes the worst surprises lead to the best endings. Because yeah, discovering Sarah's affair was devastating. But it also showed me the truth. And the truth, however painful, is always better than a comfortable lie. I'm dating someone now. She's kind, honest, and patient with my trust issues. We are taking it slow.
No rush.
And when she tells me she loves me, I believe her. Because I've learned what real love looks like. And what it doesn't. Real love doesn't hide. It doesn't lie. It doesn't build secret relationships behind your back while texting you I miss you. Real love is honest, even when honesty is hard. Sarah taught me that lesson, though not in the way she intended. So no, I don't regret that work retreat. I don't regret the 6-hour drive, the 48 hours of surveillance, the public confrontation. Because all of it led me here. To a life where I'm not living a lie. Where I'm not being betrayed every single day without knowing it. And that work retreat? It ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me. Because it showed me exactly who I was really married to. And it gave me the chance to start over. To build a life based on truth instead of lies. Some days are still hard. Some days I miss what I thought my marriage was. But then I remember it was never real. That version of Sarah, that version of our life, it was fiction. The truth was hotel rooms and secret emails and same table, always. The truth was 6 months of calculated lies. And I'm better off without it. So if you're reading this, or listening to this, and you're wondering whether you should trust that gut feeling, that nagging suspicion that something's wrong, trust it. Look for the truth, even if it hurts. Because a painful truth is always better than a comfortable lie. And sometimes, the worst surprises lead to the best new beginnings. My new beginning is pretty damn good. And I never would have found it if I hadn't made that drive to surprise my wife on her work retreat. If you're watching this and haven't subscribed yet, don't break my heart like that. Tap the button. Let's keep growing together. The end.